Today, we're going to be learning the Pythagoras Theorem. You probably know that I'm at my ancestral home now. If you want a tour of my ancestral home, well, I have done a video on that, and the link to that will be in the description box down below. Well, since I'm here, I do not have my whiteboard with me, so this time is going to be a bit different because I'm going to be doing my videos on an app. This is the first time I'm doing this. Hopefully it turns out well. Once you see the video, you'll probably realize that I'm not used to this, so bear with me. Without further ado, let's get along with the video. So now, let's get to know the right angle triangle before we start learning about the Pythagoras Theorem. This part of the right angle triangle is called the base. Alright? Now, this part of the triangle is called the height. And what is this part called, you might ask? Well, this part is called the hypotenuse. Now, you might be wondering, why am I telling you this? Well, wait and see. Okay, now imagine you get a sum or a question like this. All right, that's the best right angle triangle I can draw, so bear with me. The base is 3 centimeters. The height is 4 centimeters. And they ask you what the hypotenuse is. What do? All right, for this, you're going to need a formula. Now, obviously, we've learned formulas before, haven't we? They're like shortcuts to get the answer a lot faster than we would have without them. So, what's the formula for this? A squared plus b squared gives c squared. So now you might have realized that this has a lot to do with squares and square roots, which luckily we have already learned. So this is going to be a piece of cake. But now, you might be wondering, what does this A, B, and C stand for? I think I'll make this a bit easier for you, shall we? Alrighty, so instead of A squared plus B squared gives C squared, why don't I make it base squared plus height squared gives hypotenuse squared? How about that? Wouldn't that be easy? Why don't we give it a go, shall we? Alright, so let's substitute the base and height with the actual base and height in the question, alright? What's the base? Yep, that's 3 squared. Remember the squared. Plus 4 squared, which is the height, gives us the hypotenuse squared. Not the hypotenuse, the hypotenuse squared. Now, what is 3 squared? That's pretty easy, isn't it? 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. What's 4 squared? 16. Now that's pretty easy, we just have to add them up. 16 plus 9 is 25. But wait, remember what I said before? This 25 is not the hypotenuse, it's the hypotenuse squared. So how do we find the hypotenuse? Well, what's the opposite or the inverse of squaring? That's right, you got it, square root. So the hypotenuse is supposed to be the square root of 25, which is, well, 5, because 5 times 5 is 25. So we've just found the hypotenuse. That is 5, don't forget the unit, 5 centimeter. Wow, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? Now, our next question is, what will be the hypotenuse if the base is 6 centimeters and the height is 8 centimeters. So, what's the formula again? Yep, that's right. A squared plus b squared gives c squared. But let's simplify that a bit to base squared plus height squared gives hypotenuse squared. Yep, that's a lot easier, isn't it? So now let's solve this. So what's the base? That's right, it's 6. So 6 squared plus the height squared, which is 8. So 8 squared will give us the hypotenuse squared. Alrighty, now what's 6 squared? That's pretty easy, isn't it? 36 plus, so what's 8 squared? 64. Now we just have to add them together. So what's 36 plus 64? Well, that would be easy, isn't it? Well, let's do the addition. 6 plus 4 is 10. Carry over the 1 to the on top of the next. On the tens digit, 6 plus 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. So it's 100. But hey, remember, this 100 is the hypotenuse squared. So, what's the hypotenuse will be? Remember, the inverse of squaring is square root. So why don't we find the square root of 100? The square root of 100 is, we know that 10 times 10 is 100. So probably the square root will be, not probably, definitely the square root will be 10. We found our answer. In this right angle triangle, the base is 6 centimeters, the height is 8 centimeters, and the hypotenuse is 10. Don't forget the unit, that is centimeters. So we found it. Brilliant.
Hope you liked the video and make sure to like, share and subscribe if you haven't already done so to both my channels, Learning Time with Dyuti and my other channel, Reading Time with Dyuti. I'll see you all later. Bye!